Well, let's do an opening call to the fixed income markets now with Bankole Adesoya, who's the head of fixed income at UBA. He joins us from the FMDQ marketplace. Good morning. Now, tell us, how would you describe the trading week so far, particularly with the bond auction that took place this week, and give us an outlook for the coming week? All right, I was asking you to describe the trading week so far, particularly with the bond auction that the Debt Management Office held this week. Plus, give us a sense of what to expect in the coming week. All right, we'll get back to the FMDQ market in just a moment. Well, let's head to the Nigerian Stock Exchange now, where it's a new trading day, of course, and traders are looking for a better deal today. Well, Rotimi Fakayeja is here to tell us more about what to expect today. Good morning, Mr. Fakayeja. So the market made reversal yesterday thanks to Boa Cement. What factors drove that sentiment?
It's not far-fetched, like I did say yesterday. I think the sentiment was basically hinged on the result of United Capital, whereby they are paying 50 kobo and is giving a substantial dividend yield. So I think that alone drove the market yesterday. We saw that impact on the share price of UCAP, United Capital itself. And I think even this morning, it has gained 6 kobo again and is still driving the market. Though the market has a negative sentiment as at this time. But most importantly, we should just know that today is Friday and it could go either direction. But be that as it may, is not really encouraging because this week alone, the market has dropped by 0.83%. And that is bringing the year-to-date position to about 2.7%. And I think that is quite a huge number to end the week. And I believe that definitely the market may do better than what it did yesterday if all other factors are same. And if also we have a result that will definitely impact on the market positively today.
All right, well, we hope to see that. Now, can you give us an outlook for next week with the GDP numbers that are expected to be released?
Well, I think next week, I think we have more results coming, more earnings results, and at the same time with the GDP figure that will be coming forth. Nothing much has happened this year to actually give an expectation of any excitement to the economy. But be that as it may, this is Nigeria. By the time the figures are out, we'll definitely be able to use that to judge how the market will trend in the week. But if things are really positive concerning the GDP figures that will be released, then we can always expect that positive impact on the market as well.
All right, thanks, Rotimi Fakayeja. We can only hope for the best and see what the numbers will look like at the end of today's training session. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, let's move to the London street. And of course, my colleague Juliana is set to update us on developments there. Good morning, Juliana.
Good morning.
Well, the International Air Transport Association has warned that airlines stand to lose about $29.3 billion. That's about 23.7 billion pounds of revenue this year due to the coronavirus outbreak. Airlines are already warning of earnings impact. European carrier Air France-KLM estimated the coronavirus would cost it between 150 million euros and 200 million euros between February and April. Any words from British Airways on this too?
Good morning, Jimmy. Well, we haven't heard from British Airways, and to be honest, I don't think we need to right now. The fact that KLM are the first major global European airline to actually prove that COVID-19 has dented its profits is enough to shake up the entire industry. And as you said, the wider outlook shows that over 28 billion is going to be lost from the airline. Of course, we know that the lion's share of these losses are coming from the Asia Pacific region, particularly Chinese domestic flights, which already so far have lost over $12 million. So this is a huge issue, and of course, this is an issue that's going to continue to run. Qantas Airline, the Australian carrier, their shares this morning were down by about 8%, and they said at the moment the airline can take the bulk of these losses, but should it continue over the next couple of months, and they will actually have to ask staff to start taking their annual leave to cover costs and potentially pull back with staff. So pretty worrying.
Now, Barclays says it has scrapped a system that tracked the time employees spent at their desk after criticism and, of course, sent warnings to those spending too long on breaks. But just wondering, what is wrong if my boss decides to track what I do in the office?
Well, what is wrong with your boss tracking what you do in your office? A lot of people have a big issue with that. Millions of people. And of course, Barclays obviously feel the same way because it's only been a week since they installed this spyware, Big Brother-style data on computers around their offices in London, and they pulled it. They pulled it because it faced a lot of criticism, not just from staff, but from unions and observers that described it really dystopian, and it's causing a lot of staff members to become really anxious. Apparently, when you were going to the toilet, this marked down the unnecessary tasks, and then, of course, looking at how much time you spend any other data at work. But look, this is when they've got and very hard, and perhaps these measures being used in the future, but just right now for the City of London.
All right, thanks, Juliana. The network doesn't seem to be friendly this morning, but let's just hope we get everything sorted out soon. All right, BC, I guess the FMDQ
yes, indeed.
traders are ready to talk to us.
So let's return to the FMDQ fixed income markets now. And Bankole Adesoya is back with us. Earlier on, I was asking you to tell us or to describe the trading week so far, especially with the bond auction that took place this week.
Okay, thank you. The bond auction occurred on Wednesday, and just 100 billion bonds were sold, as against 150 billion that was offered. What this has caused is that there's some scarcity of instrument, given the amount of monies that matured last week on February 13th. We saw 600 billion coming from matured 2020 bonds. Most of the holders of the matured bonds planned to reinvest at the auction on Wednesday, but since the Debt Management Office restricted the amount that was sold from 150 to 100, it means that we have seen a bullish market, and there's a huge gap between bid and offer in the market, simply meaning that where on 2049, the longest tenor bond, for instance, willing buyers are willing to buy at 12%, but we are seeing offers at as low as 11.9. So it's a bullish market, not just only because of the reduced amount on offer that was sold, but because of liquidity. We are still carrying liquidity from last week maturity on bonds and maturities of OMO that came in last Thursday and yesterday. What has happened is that the amount sold by the central bank also is reduced compared to the amount maturing. So it's a liquid market, very bullish, and we expect this to continue into next week when federal allocations will be coming in. Another 350 billion will be coming in for states and local government. This is expected to compound the liquidity situation we have at hand with fewer instruments in the market.
I know you've given us an outlook for next week now, but tell us what the system liquidity is looking like as at this morning.
Okay, the figure is expected to be beyond 1 trillion because I imagine that federal allocations could have been paid already, and we have not seen the debits of the bond auction on Wednesday hit the system. But by our estimation, we have a 1 trillion liquidity situation on our hand, and we expect this to continue into next week. We know the central bank would likely spring into action by issuing probably more OMO bills to mop this up, because if that's not done, there could be more pressure on the FX side, where we've seen pressure lately.
All right, Bankole Adesoya, head fixed income at UBA. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. And that would be a great place to end the show today, Chimizi.
Thank you. And it's been a wonderful week with you. Busy all-women thing. So
Yes, indeed.
women are doing it. Oh, thank you for your time, for being with us. I'm Chimizi Obi Iwaku.
And I am BC Adebayo.